Greetings, everybody. How's it going? So my life is pretty hectic. It's pretty busy. Fridays and Saturdays are pretty much like my only days right now, and this is just temporary. But just like for right now, for me to actually like really sit down and talk with you guys. And so this video is going to be kind of long because I have a lot to cover inside of it. But yeah, pretty soon when my schedule changes again here soon in like the next month or so. Wednesdays, Thursdays, and then Saturdays will be the days that I'll be putting up some videos. But anyways, first I want to talk about Google Plus and apologize to those out there who really may have felt that I took the security issue with Google Plus lightly. In no way do I take security issues with any social networking or any social media site lightly. What I was trying to do, I guess, my attitude in that was, talking about Google Plus, because there's a lot of people who really hate on Google Plus. Like, they just have to say something very negative about it, even when it's like pointless to say anything negative about it. Like, if you don't use Google Plus, then you don't use it. But just because someone talks about it doesn't mean that that they shouldn't talk about it. Because there's people that use Google Plus. Like, I do use it. It's my number one social network site. I really love the site itself. It's very clean. It's not cluttered with a lot of things. I don't feel like that it caters to just a younger demographic. I think it caters to many different kinds of demographics. So I really like it. The fact that it's shutting down is really sad. There's a lot of people who's posted on Google Plus that they're going to stay until the very last day. I am one of those people. And then there's people that's like trying to find a new social network site that kind of can deliver what Google Plus delivered to them. In general, I posted a podcast on Spreaker, and I said this on there. Google's at fault, because I read things in about Google and what they think about Google Plus, especially the security issue, and it's almost like they don't want to admit it when they are at fault for it. They are absolutely at fault for it. Google is responsible for this chaotic mess. There were so many times that Google Plus could have became like a real big giant in the social network scene. There were a lot of times that Google Plus capitalized on things that Facebook failed to do, and it was just strange because they would do these things and it's like, oh yeah, you implemented it in the Google Plus, something that Facebook should have done but they didn't do, and then you would watch Google Plus just sit there and not move anymore. It's like, what happened? You guys kind of took the lead against Facebook, and then what were you guys doing? Like, turned off your vehicle and let Facebook pass you on the highway? Like, it was so cringing to see what the Google Plus team was doing. And of course, the multiple different management that took over the project implemented one or two things and then just stopped and was like, why were you guys appointed over this project? Like, you guys aren't taking this project and making it blossom. The management for Google Plus was what held it back. They just didn't care. They didn't give a damn. To be honest, they didn't give a damn about Google Plus. It was like they wanted to show that they were doing something with it, I guess, so that way they wouldn't be accused of not doing anything. It's like, oh yeah, let's change the UI and do this and do that and move this from here to here, and boom, that was it. And then all of a sudden, this is like nothing happened, right? I mean, think about it. Like, how many times have you gotten a Google Plus update? Like compared to other applications that are very active, have very active users. Say like Facebook, right? Facebook has like what updates? Maybe like every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, something like that. You're always bound to get an update that's going to change or do something different or add something to it. Google Plus goes months without an update, and that's just crazy. One of the other things that they failed to do was manage Google Plus. I mean, you can go through Google Plus and find thousands and thousands and thousands of profiles that are no longer in use. Google Plus never scrubbed them. They left them there. So you have it's like living in a house and you're constantly building up trash, which is, users who left their profile abandoned, and rather than taking out the trash and throwing it away to keep a clean house, you just let all the trash build up. And eventually, it's like, a hoarder that lives in a house, Like, you can't get through anything, really, because there's so much junk. They fail to respond to people's requests. Like, I have a community that I built that I really don't want to lose, but because I had forgotten I built it with an old Google Plus profile, which I deleted the Google account for, my Google account is set as a moderator. I can prove to them under the sun that I created that community, and they will not grant and change my status from moderator to owner, so then that way I can make the main executive decisions with that community and have people who I trusted know move up from a follower to a moderator. All these things played a part in Google Plus's demise. And yes, there's a petition going around trying to ask Google to keep it, trying to ask them to fix the security issue within Google Plus and to redevelop it and make it better. Of course, a lot of people are saying that's never going to happen. Google's not going to listen. And if Google doesn't listen, then oh well, they don't listen. They're just going to piss off a lot of people. One of the things I think that Google Plus could turn around is that they should allow those users on there to be able to live broadcast. That's one of the things that came out, a couple of years back, that people quite often do in their day-to-day lives. And you can't really live stream. You can live stream on YouTube, but some of those people on Google Plus don't even post videos to YouTube. And now that Google Plus and YouTube is separated, Google Plus is its own entity. They have no idea what they're doing with Hangouts, so why not allow the mobile application of Hangouts, allow it to start live streaming, which is something that's been asked for like 4 or 5 years now. Let Hangouts be able to go live and let that link with Google Plus, because technically Hangouts originally was not called Hangouts, it was called Google Plus Messenger. These are things that they could have done to make things better with Google Plus and obviously fix the security issues and tighten up privacy. But again, Google being lazy, just like they did with all the other services that they have scrapped and killed. And Google Plus is finally going to join that pile of ruined Google services that they've tossed it and abandoned to the side. So anyways, you guys can drop comments about that, what you guys think about it, how you guys feel, and then if you are a Google Plus user, you can post down there on where you might end up going for social networking in the future. Let's kind of talk about Made by Google, because everyone's already put their video out. And if you guys know me, I like to wait a few days or even a week before I actually give my thoughts about it. And so now I'm going to do that, and we're going to talk about the Home Hub, Google Home Hub, which is like finally it's here. I've been waiting for this thing. One of the things that really impressed me about it, obviously, is the pricing. Okay, so like when Google Home first came out, it cost $129, right? If you went to Best Buy, you got one, $129. Walmart had a sale on it for $100 when it first came out, but $129. So a lot of people were thinking, like, because Home Hub was going to have a display, an actual display on it, that it was going to be like $200 or $250. But surprisingly, it's only $149. So $20 more than what the original Google Home cost when it first came out. The Home Hub is $29, well, $20 more. So it's $149.99. And I'm definitely going to get one. I'm not sure if it has a camera, and I'm kind of sad that if it doesn't have a camera, why didn't they put one in there? People talked about privacy and, oh, it's got a camera, I'm not going to put it in my bedroom. But I mean, like, you got like a smartphone and all kinds of things in your room that have cameras. So Home Hub, what's going to make the big deal about it, But I know people's heightened state of paranoia nowadays. I mean, trust me, I deal with it all the time. I have people, always calling, asking for help, stating that they feel like their phone's been hacked because they got a notification saying that a certain app on their phone's requiring permissions. So because of that reason, people get a little bit paranoid, so I'm assuming it doesn't have a camera, but I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, please prove me wrong in the comment section of this video. Now, it does everything that Google Home does. It does a little bit more, though, because they did implemented more commands into Google Home, so Google Home can control more things now, and Home Hub is going to be able to do that, plus give you a visual, which is an even better thing. So I'm really happy about that. Like, I'm really, thumbs up Google on that one. The Pixel Slate, I don't have the same feelings for. I really am getting sick and tired of tech companies doing this, but obviously, yes, they're out to make money, so there's really nothing we can do about it. But the pricing of it, so not so much as what the Pixel Slate can do, but the pricing of it just seems ridiculous. Now, I will go on record and say that I would buy a Pixel Slate for $599, but it would have to include the other accessories in the box. Okay, in no way would I tell somebody, like, yeah, go ahead and get the Pixel Slate. Spend $599 on just the tablet itself, another $200 on the keyboard portfolio, and then $100 on the stylus. That's almost $900. Actually, that is $900, and probably even more with taxes. Over $1,000 for a 2-in-1, sort of. Like, get out of here with that. And Google's not the only one that is guilty of doing this. Apple did it, with their, what was it, their iPad Pro. Microsoft does it with the Surface. They do this, but it's just like it doesn't warrant the price tag. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. A tablet that's running Chrome OS, I mean, you can get a decent Chromebook with a touchscreen, for like half the price or less than the Pixel Slate. So come on, like seriously, come on. All right, let's kind of dive into the Pixel 3 and Pixel 3 XL, because this is the one that, the XL model, ouch, I just banged my foot there. The XL model basically has been the topic of hate and disgust. The notch. Everyone's just the notch. The notch is so big. The notch is this. The notch is that. It's just, whew. But there are a lot of devices that have pumped out the notch. Personally, I think that Google kind of had itself in a good spot here. Had Google created the Pixel 3 before any other company like OnePlus or Blue or any of those other companies or even LG that put a notch on their screen, I think Google would have been the target of a lot more backlash. And the reason I say that is all these other devices came out and people were like, I don't like it because of the notch. Some people would be like, I like it, I like the notch. And one thing we can say is that after the iPhone 10 came out, a lot of OEMs started putting a notch on their devices. But the difference, and the reason why the notch on the Pixel 3 XL doesn't bother me at all, the difference between like LG and Blue and OnePlus and Xiaomi and all those companies that put a notch in theirs, they have no purpose for the notch. The notch serves no purpose whatsoever. Nothing. It's not like the iPhone 10 that has Face ID. Doesn't have that. The Pixel 3 warrants, well, the XL version warrants the notch for the cameras. Now I know that the originals, that the Pixel 3, the regular Pixel 3, has the same cameras as the Pixel 3 XL, and that one doesn't have a notch either. And maybe they're trying to give more breathing ground for the camera placement on the front-facing camera for the XL. But Google kind of like, the way I see it, they're not forcing people to. So you have the Pixel 3, which is like what, a 5.5 inch display, so it's the smaller version with still kind of fairly odd big screen. And if you really, really, really can't stand a notch, you can go with that model and you're not missing anything, right? Nothing. They're entirely the same. Two phones, small, bigger, but entirely the same. Okay. The resolution on the Pixel 3 is a bit better than the XL, but you're not really missing anything as far as camera features, specs, things of that nature. There's a few things different, but nothing major. So the 3XL, why does that, why do I feel like that, Google's not forcing people to just deal with the notch? Because, to be honest, Apple people may hate me for saying this, but Apple intentionally was forcing people to accept their notch that they created. Yes, Apple created a notch. Not any other company. Apple was the first to do it. It was their idea of design. Apple created a notch. But when the iPhone 10 came out, before the iPhone 10 came out, the 8 and 8 Plus came out, right? Which held the same form factor as previous versions of the iPhone. After that, the iPhone 10 came out, and it was just like, this is the future of iPhone. This is where it's going. You're going to have to deal with Face ID. Simple, right? They didn't do anything to cater to either side. They didn't give any options for users to, use either one, right? Because they totally just killed the iPhone 8 when the iPhone 10 came out. Google, on the other hand, has the Pixel 3 XL, and some of you guys will be like they did the same thing, but they kind of didn't. Yes, there's a notch on the 3 XL, but there is a way around it, and some people will be like they don't like the other way around it, but at least you have an option. Like, if you don't like the notch, if it really bothers you that bad, then Google has given a way to mitigate that to where you won't see a notch. And it's a simple thing of adjusting a certain setting within the device. Yes, that setting is found in developer options, so you would have to open developer options in order to get to that setting. But you can literally turn off the top pixels on the display, creating a bezel where the notch is hidden in, right? Now people will be like, but that gets rid of the 18:9 aspect ratio. Like, look, this ain't Burger King. You can't always have it your way. But at least you have a way to not have to deal with that notch. And you've used 16:9 aspect ratio devices long before 18:9s came out. So it's not that unbearable, okay? Even when I seen, go watch a video on someone actually turning off the notch where everything is pretty much hidden, with the upper top pixels being turned off to create a black bar. Look at it. It's not even that. It's not even that big of a bezel. Okay, it's like about the same, like almost a little bit thicker than the bezel on my Stylo 4. A little bit, not by much. And so and it creates that rounded look on the screen. So you really don't see that the pixels are killed off. Now, I seen and heard other opinions where people are like, oh, if you turn that feature on to hide the notch, they should have at least had the clock and like other notifications still appear in that dead pixel area next to the notch. But that kind of defeats the purpose aesthetically, because if you're turning off those pixels to hide the notch, to give it a actual bezel, then on the bezel, so this device has a bezel, where do you see the clock on the bezel? You don't. You see it on the screen underneath. And that was the aesthetic look that Google was going for if you chose to hide the notch. So you have options here. You have two options, okay? If you really, really, really don't want the notch, you can go and get the Pixel 3, which is a great phone, and still be able to have all the same features that the Pixel 3 has, like AR stickers, top shot and all that. You'll still have it with the Pixel 3. It's not just given to the Pixel 3 XL. But if you really want the big phone, but you don't want the notch, you can hide it just by engaging and turning on the, to hide the notch. And that will, get rid of it. If you feel like it looks a little bit wonky, like you're okay with the notch, but it just looks a little bit weird, you can even have it where it creates another notch at the bottom that serves no purpose, but just gives a more aesthetic look, right? So you'll have a notch here, you'll have a real notch up here with the cameras inside of it, and it just will look aesthetically pleasing if that's what you want. So Google put a notch on the 3XL, people get over it, but they gave options for everybody to basically still make it their own. So applaud Google for that, because other companies kind of just want to tell you how to use your phone, and then that's it. Tough. And iPhone users, let's not bash on them, because iPhone users and Apple fans, they don't get a choice, okay? Apple tells them how to use their phone, and that's all they have. If they don't like it, they have to go somewhere else. And obviously, they love iOS. They love the ecosystem that Apple provides for them, so they're just going to have to deal with it. I mean, honestly, personally, I feel bad for Apple fanatics, because they're always the brunt of everything. Like, if Apple does something wrong, they're the ones at fault for it. My device is not connecting that well. Apple blames its users. You're holding your phone wrong. Like, they deal with enough crap from the company that they choose to support. So let's not bash Apple fans. But with the Pixel 3, Pixel 3 XL, you have options, okay? The notch, a lot of people make a big deal about it. And it's funny, because a lot of people who made a big deal about it, I am seeing their tweets where they're absolutely loving the phone. And it's like, geez, 4 months ago when photos leaked about the XL and the notch, you guys were like, I'm not going to get it. I hate it. It's disgusting. It's ugly. It's da-da-da-da-da. And then now they're tweeting, got my Pixel 3 XL. This phone is good. Cameras are amazing. I love this device. This is my new DD, daily driver. And I'm like, wait a minute. 6 months ago, you guys said you guys hate it. Some are even smart that they actually deleted their tweet where they condemned the Pixel 3 XL to being a phone that's not going to sell, and then are proven wrong. They deleted their tweet. So that goes to show you, right? Stop judging a book by its cover. And so with that, I'll leave it to you guys. What do you guys think? What are your guys' initial reactions to the Pixel 3 XL? Is it cool that Google at least gave you guys an option to either A, hide it, or B, choose a secondary hardware that does not have a notch built into it? I really want to know what you guys think about it, so drop a comment below. Thumbs up if you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's pretty long. And yeah. Y'all see me in the next one. Aloha.